This is a labor.
So our new intern, if you look our new intern in the eyes, it's just bad news. So we like to keep our distance. We don't acknowledge her when she gets in.
We want her to lay under the table and be quiet.
She's dealing with HR right now because she's been licking us all over our bodies.
We're recording.
We are? Welcome back. Should I start?
Yeah, do it.
Hey. We're back. Was that bad? For the levels?
Should we do something fun?
You introduce us.
Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a minute. Last time we were here, everything was fine in the world. 2 years later, we're back, bitches. Alexis here, checking in with these guys. Hello.
Hi.
AJ.
Thank you.
Everyone say hi. We're going to reintroduce ourselves for the audience.
Oh, interesting.
I think we need to reintroduce ourselves to ourselves. We are, if you have to explain the joke.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I'm AJ.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Michael.
And we are, if you have to explain the joke. And we're thrilled to be here.
And
Only took 2 years.
We're brought to you by just an interest in getting back into our hobbies. And, you know, we're excited about this.
And Spanx.
And Spanx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost forgot.
You forgot. They paid us a lot of money for this.
God, I almost forgot to say Spanx.
We're like, our hobbies. Yeah, Spanx.
Oh, that was a close one.
In reality, we all saw what was happening in the world in Ukraine, and we thought, how can we help? And we said, you know what? Let's get the gang back together.
Yikes.
We're doing this for Ukraine.
Yes, we are.
Holy shit.
It drove us to the pod.
I'm not joking, but I'm joking.
Yeah.
But also sending love.
It has been almost 2 years to the
In
date.
solidarity.
Really?
It's been almost 2 years to the date since we did our last podcast.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, so this was very well timed.
Yes, for our 2-year anniversary.
That whole war bit.
That whole global pandemic.
Coming in hot,
Yeah.
war bits.
We're just, this is what happens when we've been out of the game for so long. We're loopy, we're excited,
So much has changed. We're all bald now. All 4 of us.
But that's really the biggest thing, I'd say.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Who are we reviewing today?
We have Aziz Ansari,
Mr. Ansari.
stand-up comedian. Is that the name?
Nightclub
comedian.
Nightclub comedian.
Most recent special.
The first set we've done in a pandemic-forward world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
In the new normal.
yeah,
BC.
the new normal. BC.
AC. 80.
After
COVID?
AP.
Yeah.
AP. No, AP.
AP.
AP English. But yeah, it's been an interesting 2 years. And Aziz, it was just a good one to come back to, right? Did you guys
I think he hits all the topics,
Yeah.
you know, which is interesting.
Agreed.
Just generally, what'd you guys think of the special? 30 minutes, 28 minutes.
I like a succinct set. I really do.
I liked, one, we don't have an attention span anymore, so the 30 minutes is like perfect.
Yeah.
You know, 30 minutes of good comedy, great. Like,
Totally.
we then watched the new Long after this, and an hour felt long after this 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But overall, really hits things that I would like him to. Post-pandemic, you know, just what's going on in the world.
Also, I felt the audience was really excited to be back at a live comedy special. They seemed to be giving him some good back and forth. So that was cool to see.
It was a good mixture of serious and then his great little clips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say he's kind of in his like Dave Chappelle bag, where he's monologuing. He's kind of just talking about world problems, sprinkles in some humor about that thing, and then but it's as much lecture as it is stand-up comedy routine.
But that's the format that he gave himself for just going to the cellar. this isn't a tight 30 minutes.
Right.
It's different than when we watched Wong, and she has a great hour, and
Right.
she is to a huge theater. Like this, he kind of like, I don't want to say it's like cheating, but he's just going to do a set at the Cellar and
Brought some cameras.
yeah.
This is where he's most comfortable, and I could feel that. He was like, I'm back, I live in London now, but like this is where I was made, and I could tell he was chill.
This is kind of a comeback, right? I know we're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of a comeback, but I like that it's like a soft comeback. It's like I'm just gonna give you like 30 minutes of material that's like doesn't even feel all the way worked out. Like there might be better versions of this later, but he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just kind of at the Cellar. I'll bring some cameras.
Well,
He's vibing.
yeah.
Taking everyone's time.
Yeah.
That's all.
And the Cellar is great. It's just a great audience. It's small, intimate. We got to go to the Cellar in August, September.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
we saw, oh shit,
David Tell.
David Tell.
He killed
that's
it.
cool.
And it's, I mean, the
And we
Cellar
hung
is
out with
great.
him afterwards.
The Cellar is literally like it's the best audience. It's a small room.
Great food.
Yeah.
Great food? Okay food?
I don't
Food.
eat
Real
food.
Nazis about
They have
the phones
food.
there.
Comedy Cellar does have a menu, a food menu.
They have food, yeah.
Yes, we'll leave it at that.
Make your own opinions.
Yes, but we had a really good time. We got to hang out with Dave in the street afterwards,
Yeah,
which was
that's
cool.
fun.
But anyways,
Look,
your point of Comedy Cellar being a great venue.
Yeah, it's
Agreed.
just a good venue. It's nice. It's just like
Quintessential, like,
yeah.
Quaint,
nightclub comedian
cozy.
shit.
Yeah,
I guess my point is like if this got crazy reviews and became like got some momentum, could you see like a year from now all of a sudden he's in like a shiny suit again on a giant stage being like, what is like he just thank you.
yeah. Whoa, hold on. I don't think we
We're
can
gonna
move
need
forward.
to workshop that a little.
That was really good. Yeah. But yeah,
Could you see like this feels like a soft like let me just make sure let's do a tone check, a temperature check.
a focus group?
Yeah, and we can go into Aziz a little bit, but did anyone watch the latest season of Masters of None?
Honestly, no.
No, I
No
watched
for me.
up until he went to Italy.
Is he not in it, right?
So he's in it a little bit, but he directed every episode, and it's basically like a modernized version of a Scandinavian movie called Scenes from a Marriage. This is called, I think, Scenes from a Relationship, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, very poetic. His character from Master of None pops in every once in a while, but it's mostly about who is his lesbian friend in that show.
What is that girl's name? It's like something.
Greg, can you look that up?
Greg.
But so it's about her relationship and her being a writer. It's very poetic. I
Lena
think he's Lena
Oh,
Waithe.
yeah.
And she's great in it too. So I could see him doing that, but even he says in this I'm doing what I want to. No one really watched that, but it's great, and he's a very good director. He makes very good cinematic art house pieces.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I gotta say. Aziz Ansari, I love him.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think he's talented. I think he has an eye for art and style and beauty as well. And I really like
He also
him.
takes it seriously, which I think from a comedian standpoint is nice to see that he's not just out there to hear a laugh. He takes it seriously. He wants the feedback. He's that kind of comedian, I think.
Not to just get that fan pussy.
Yeah. That's nice, but he wants more than that.
We're gonna have to get back to that.
Yeah, sorry.
You watched Ali Wong's new special afterwards.
It was pretty
which
good. It was
is
very funny,
hilarious,
yeah.
but we're gonna have to leave that out of this talk. We're gonna have to leave that at the door.
For the fans out there, we were discussing who to do, and Ali Wong has a new set out there, but we've already talked about her on the pod. And seeing that we've only done 6 episodes, we did feel like it was a little egregious to go back. But
To
she's got a
double
great
dip in the
special.
long pot.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
talks about some fan pussy, fan dick, and I'm just saying, Aziz isn't all about the fan pussy anymore.
Not at all.
I think specifically not. All right, let's get into some background and then we'll talk about.
Speaking of fan pussy, Aziz.
We'll have to talk about why he's doing a comeback.
Oh, Aaron.
Well, to actually, AJ, we actually saw his comeback set.
Yeah, we did.
So this is his second special that
IRL.
he's.
At the Fox?
Yeah. That was his comeback set. He talks about it.
Was I there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
we were
we
sitting
saw
next
his
to-
come-
yeah,
yeah,
we were
okay.
sitting next to-
So
Yes.
this isn't his comeback set. He just hasn't done a set in a while.
This is his first special TV appearance. Like, did he put out a
3 years? Yeah, he did. He recorded the set we watched. We saw. And put that on Netflix. We didn't have to watch it because we saw it live.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened.
We're just some comedy snobs, audience.
Say it, guys.
We saw it live. So
Anyway,
We're pretty cool.
yeah, whatever, y'all.
Aziz, kind of a quick start, slow start. I don't know. Was in Upright Citizens Brigade. He had done some other random stuff, but was, I think, on Amy Poehler's radar. And his first big break was Parks and Recreation as Tom, which is an iconic part, you know, like, and kind of
iconic.
Built that brand of his where he's in the suits all the time and treat yourself and like all that, like, you know, his whole kind of flair and swag of that phase one Aziz is kind of built in that character.
Definitely iconic.
Yeah.
I feel like I would remember him he like popped up and stuff. Oh yeah, so he was like in Observe and Report with Seth Rogen.
He had that movie 30 Minutes or Less with Eisenberg.
And it was from the directors of Zombieland, so like that was actually a very big movie.
There's just one line that he reads off in that movie where Eisenberg has a bomb strapped to him and his first spot is to go get his best friend who happens to be a teacher. So they are at a school. This is like, your first instinct is to come to a school full of children? Like, just yelling it, and it just kills me.
Wait a second.
He's in School for Scoundrels with Billy Bob Thornton and John Hader back in the Napoleon Dynamite days.
What was he in Ice Age?
Probably a voice.
What was
not walking.
Which voice?
Seems like the Slav.
No.
I don't really know Ice Age.
Yeah, so he's got bit parts in things because Parks and Recs really blows up, I think, once it gets on Netflix. And
no, man, they were hot out the gate, and then they came in really hot when they second season added what's his name, Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like most people found Parks and Recs after like season 4 or 5. But if you guys say that they were on for the ride, I guess I was just late to the party. Yeah, maybe.
I'm just gonna throw that on you.
I feel like Parks and Rec 30 Rock were like kind of in a parallel projection. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And like The Office busted it open for both of them.
Yes, but also we cannot forget about all of the Comedy Central roasts.
He's great and funny people.
And funny people.
He is very funny and funny people. He's got a bit part in I Love You, Man. Get him to the Greek. So he's in big movies. Those are all like 2008, 2009, 2010.
Also,
like,
notably, he made a cameo appearance in the music video for Otis by Jay-Z and Kanye
Really?
West.
Well, I was about to say, he finds himself in this weird niche of like a pop culture comedian.
Yeah.
You know, almost like where Pete Davidson finds himself today, where like if he's just hanging out with like rappers and things like that, it doesn't seem weird. But like Aziz is like chilling with Kanye and he's doing these R. Kelly bits and then like ends up on stage at like he's just like kind of in pop culture, like kind of the commentator.
He's always been a rap guy.
Yeah.
He's always been talking about rap music and stuff. I like that.
Well, and the thing I liked about him in his early stuff was that, and like his book is he put like, he had just really interesting, funny takes on the world that we were currently occupying specifically. Like, it wasn't a take that was timeless. It was a take about, like, dating on Tinder. And I was like, damn, this guy is very good at taking a universal feeling and then talking about it specifically to what's happening.
But very much so with heart. Like, I read that book and I was like, wow, this guy's got heart. He was like, I'm trying to like find someone to spend my life with and like meet my love, and it's not happening because Tinder is all fucked up and our society's fucked up and weird. And I was just like, wow, this guy has like some very seriousness to him. And then he went on, and I think right after that was what's the show we were just talking about, Masters of None, and I was like, damn, Aziz is the shit.
Yeah,
that opening scene of Masters of None where they're debating what kind of Uber they should get to go pick up Plan B is like the perfect. He's trying to tell her that it was a longer wait to get the Uber Black, and he didn't want to make her feel like he was snubbing her on the ride to go get Plan B, and it was just like this weird moment of like, God, this probably has happened. Like, you know, like people are somewhere on a random hookup from a girl at a bar, now debating what kind of Uber.
Or he's the kind of guy.
Yeah.
There's definitely a guy ordering an Uber at least for Plan B, and Aziz is the kind of guy that will then become like make it a thing. You know, like has a little bit of those neuroses that a comedian needs to have to like, okay, this is a funny take. You know.
Right. Yeah.
How, you know.
The need to comment.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And then.
I was just going to say, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but I did not know he lived in London. Did any of you know that?
No.
Is there a reason?
I hadn't touched base with him in a bit.
You hadn't? Okay.
Yeah.
What's out there for him? Does
The
he
world.
have family out there?
He has a girl.
Oh.
I just think London's cool.
No, I mean, I think it's awesome. I just didn't know if there was a specific
Why
reason.
the fuck did you move to London?
Let the record show.
Oh, wait,
Michael can't understand why anyone would live in London.
We're getting a call in from Aziz right now. I think he wants to clarify.
Michael is literally looking at us like, why the fuck? Like, do you know what happens in London?
This is really all I wanted to talk about.
Everyone know what
had
happened?
a very public fall.
Yes, yeah.
However, maybe.
Well, he was able to come back from it quick, but yeah, we can say 2018 he got Me Too'd pretty hard. I mean, not everyone had a bunch of articles written about them. You know, there's a few.
I will
of them,
say,
and he
looking
was
back
one of
on
them.
this, I remember this happening at the time, and this girl had gone to the press, but the publication that published this story was not anything legit. It was this thing called babe.net.
Yeah.
And it was that was the story that everyone was sharing, and it was like, what's going on? Why isn't the New York Times on it?
Y'all read babe.net this morning.
It was so weird.
This writer was with aggressive bias and just kind of roasted him and put his text up online and all sorts of things. But then when you really looked at it, it was this is the most gray area of any of these things where you're really just not supposed to know. I think Aziz was pretty honest through the whole thing. He was just, if you read those texts that she's trying to roast him, he's apologizing immediately, showing his lack of understanding of the situation and his sympathy for somebody that he didn't know. Immediately those text messages, he's wanting to understand it, coming into the conversation, trying to I don't know. It seemed really gray to me.
So should we explain the situation to the fans?
I don't really think so.
Yeah, do we need to go into the details? I feel
Let's focus on
it was a very gray area. I do just want to share this quote from an article in The Atlantic that was talking
Look it
about
up yourselves, bitches.
not only the journalistic issues with the publishing of this story, but also the legitimacy and what it means for the greater Me Too movement. This person wrote, stories of gray areas are exactly what need to be told and discussed. Mm-hmm. Even Ansari, the semi-ironic expert who authored a book on interpersonal communication, was seeing something totally different from his date, Grace, who felt coerced. Right. And that's really what that was.
Okay. Right.
He's not been criminally brought to account. He has not, it's nothing big. It is for that girl.
I actually think that it's not... It wasn't a condemnation of Aziz. I think it was a good conversation to have in terms of awareness for men and women and those moments and women needing to be empowered to say something in those moments and men also having to be a little bit more careful with how aggressive they might do things. It's a little combination of both because it's so gray, but I think if anything, it's just it was a good story to highlight, and I think that's why Aziz is fine, at least in our eyes, where we don't, I tried listening to Louis' new stand-up special, and I got 5 minutes in, and I'm I can't listen to this guy. He's not funny, and he's just sounds angry and bitter. There's so many problems with Louis, whereas Aziz's situation was just something that anyone could have found themselves in.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, I gotta say too, Aziz is a universally nice guy. Nothing about him is threatening. Nothing about him says, I want to go assault you.
Also, we're not discounting Grace necessarily.
No, I'm saying Grace's point.
Right.
Grace, we are with you. I'm saying this was an important thing because even men like that who might mean well and have the best of intentions and just are kind guys still can misunderstand things and things get lost in this gray area and women can be coerced and do things they want to do.
Right, and not you say something.
But
like,
having
we're
the
like,
Even the nice
conversation.
guys are still men at the end of the day, part of the patriarchy, and the women that they interact with, play a role in that. And
Yep.
we are all
Still
still
important.
living in
Right.
these roles.
Get 'em. We're gonna write a stand-up routine about working consent conversations into foreplay, right?
Ooh.
Because I think there's a lot of material there.
Well, that'll be
It's
coming up in a
something
few
that needs to be
weeks.
done.
All right,
See
great.
AJ Thursday nights at the Latin School at 8 p.m.
Thursday night.
All right, let's get into it. Can we get into it? We're like 45 minutes into this
Yeah.
podcast.
It's alright. We'll chop some stuff. up.
We're at
Chopped
minute
and screwed.
20. It's a 30 minute. It's a 30 minute set.
And you
We
guys
have to-
will listen to the end. All
Yeah,
right.
our
So,
fans are dedicated.
Don't you dare
Mom, Dad.
fast forward 10 seconds.
So this was filmed in December 2021 at the Comedy Cellar in New York City.
What were we doing in December
Well,
2021?
Wait, it was filmed or released?
fucking around.
Filmed.
What were you doing?
What was I doing?
December
I
2021?
I
This is
was
a couple months.
A couple months ago.
I was moving.
You were moving.
I was.
What was happening in the world?
I can't remember.
Not much.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm just trying to set the stage.
Okay, Ukraine was still Ukraine at the time.
And there's still Ukraine today, HJ.
We don't know when this episode is going to be released.
Hopefully sooner than when Ukraine's gone.
Yeah, these Ukraine jokes are.
But football was still a thing. Let's get into the stuff though.
Yeah,
the
so-
dogs were
So
winning.
one, we've got some really good footage of Aziz as like an 18-year-old kid. So cute. So
Precious.
so nice.
That chin strap beard thing he was rocking is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Weird times.
It's crazy that he was able to get up in the cellar his first time.
I'm sure he
I know.
was hanging around for a
Yeah.
while or
He
something.
knew some
He's an
things.
NYU kid.
And it sounds like he
Yes.
was killed.
And
He
also
wasn't
like
NYU kid.
brought in his crowd, I guess. Like that's part of the deal is
Yeah.
if you can show up with enough people at some of these places.
Buy enough drinks
Yeah.
and you can do what you want.
Because that's
So
the
let's
outro
just-
that kills me.
Right. So let's just all recognize, like, we went to the Comedy Cellar last year. It was great. How much would you die if Aziz Ansari showed up and
be
did
awesome.
that bit?
I've been to the Comedy Cellar when Aziz showed up back in like
What?
20...
Hold on, why didn't you lead with that?
If-
All right, start
Like-
the podcast. and we're back.
Yeah, I was on a family trip with New York, maybe circa 2010.
Oh.
And we went to the cellar and he showed up and like we all knew who he was, but like he wasn't obviously who he is today,
Right.
10 years ago, 12 years ago, but it was still awesome.
That's
We had
more awesome.
I think, Chris Rock also showed up that night. Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. That's
was,
insane.
It is cool though to go into like a comedy set blind and be like, who could possibly show up right now?
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
thrilling. You
The
know?
cellar's like one of the coolest places in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, at Laughing
Yeah.
Skull, you're getting like
Just because it feels
Larry
elite.
the Cable Guy.
Like, how many
AJ,
people?
Thursday nights at 8 p.m.
Can we see what the capacity is in Comedy Cellar? It's like a small,
Like
intimate group.
60 people, 40 people.
Something like that. And that's part of the, I
I mean,
think,
they
allure
cram
of
it in,
it.
but
Yeah.
like,
do we? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it can't be more than that.
No, you go.
No,
Me?
you're not.
Okay, I'll go. No, you go. Okay,
Okay.
me? Okay, okay.
I have something to say
Do we know
now.
who do we know who the opening comedian was that was talking right before he went on?
Yes.
Because you do?
Huh?
When we went and saw him?
No.
In this special.
Oh, no.
I just
I was
love
gonna
the
say
joke
Sam
that he's
Morril.
saying right at the end. It just kind of cuts into a joke where he goes, I got a golden retriever, and you guys know me. I don't see race, but that's a white person's dog. and then introduces Aziz, and that just killed me. That was a funny, weird cut-in.
Yeah, I like the intro. You know, a lot of these specials, they always got to do something in the beginning. And I thought this was nice. You got the documentary footage. He shows them at the Comedy Cellar, then he's standing, waiting for himself to be called. I will say, Aziz, you got a nice little belly compared to your 18-year-old self. But so no, we all...
Wow, shots fired.
Go the fuck
Not
off.
trying to
I
body
think he
shame,
looked great. He
but...
was wearing multiple knits in his outfit. It was lovely. Cream colors.
Oh,
Pretty
you
boots.
knits. Got it. I was
Yeah.
like, I was
He looked
gonna.
really-
Yeah, he looked
He's like
cozy.
a fashionable guy.
He's a Londonite
kind
now.
of cute.
Back
yeah.
to London.
Why the fuck did you move to London?
Give me 3 good reasons why you moved to
Well,
London.
let's talk about why he might have left America. He starts off talking about vax.
Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good reason.
I don't think they're better in
The
life.
Vax cards. Very relatable, not gonna lie. Like, those Vax cards, what's going on here?
I loved the joke about the Vax cards. Who designed these cards? Can we get the people that made the McDonald's Monopoly?
Yes.
That's way more secure. That was killing me.
It is crazy that people are able to just fake the Vax cards so quickly, and that's a great point. It's a great point. It's literally just like, did you guys print this off on your home printer and cut them up?
You guys, I got my first Vax. I got my second Vax. I went and got my booster, and then I left. I was at CVS. I literally got home, and like 5 days later, I look at my card. The fucking person didn't sign my boosts for my booster.
So you're
I like have no evidence. Yeah, I'm undocumented booster, and I feel like a garbage can. I'm like, I have all three, but no one will know.
You got stuck the third time, but have nothing to show for
And like
it.
they were like overworked. They had like appointments, but it was just like so busy.
That sucks, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's our podcast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyway, I gotta say, the first thing that he said that I was just like 100 P was about the Aaron Rodgers bit.
Oh, what about Nicki Minaj? And that was so like topical and funny to me.
Very topical, yeah.
About how, because first of all, Nicki is bullshit about like her cousin's nuts. Like, we're not gonna get into Nicki Minaj right now, but come on.
So he's basically saying he's getting special treatment where bouncers are waving him through. Oh, Aziz, you're good. And he's like, no, look at my Vax card.
Like, I would like you to follow protocol right now.
In theory, we're all vaccinated, right? I liked that one, because that's kind of how I feel when I go to places. I'm just like, yeah, everyone here is probably vaccinated, right?
Yes.
Like, but people are using fake vaxes and, I don't know, not showing their shit.
I did like when he's talking about Aaron Rodgers, though. That was killing.
I thought it was a great point, because I do think we're missing a lot of like, not to say that that like sympathy for people who are like anti-vax and whatever, but there's some like
it's like a perspective
that we're
thing.
missing. Like, he basically says like, Aaron Rodgers, everyone's like, oh, fuck him, but like, he's a football player. Are you stunned? We're making it's like in high school, and we're making fun of the quarterback for doing bad on a test. This guy makes a living getting hit in the head.
The reminding you of what the football player is in high school is like not that clever, but it's just like you're just like, oh shit, like those
you have that one person that you like go back to and you're like, yeah.
It's like, why am I giving Aaron Rodgers credit? Why am I assuming that he's like a hyper intelligent guy just because he's famous? Like,
I thought, like, did he run the scientific method hypothesis? Do vaccines work?
I connected with that piece so much because for me, like, it's obvious that, you know, we're in a bubble and there are different cohorts of people in our population, but it makes a ton of sense that a football player would do his research and come to this conclusion. And
well, even then, like, that's not to shame football players at the same time, right? Like,
that's not what I mean
either. He goes on to say, like, it's just ridiculous how sad he is, how sad this is. Like, I don't think those people are idiots. Aziz's uncle died and didn't get vaccinated, and he says he just got hit by this other thing. The flow of information has been corrupted. Mm-hmm. I loved how he said the videos that are all over the internet right now that are like, he didn't get. Oh no, that will show somebody being like, the vax doesn't work, and then like, don't get vax, and then like, I'm not feeling good. I'm in the hospital. Send love to my children. And then it's like his kid. It's like, he died. What an idiot.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, someone died here. Like, this is actually sad.
Yeah, I thought that was very funny because I've seen a lot of those videos.
Yeah.
Well,
and those videos are fucked up, but it's a weird thing of like, we don't have sympathy for those people because they're not listening, but we're also like exploiting them. Like, those people that are those accounts on Instagram that are posting those videos are like getting likes and stuff like that, and you know, it's just it's this whole weird just like fuck about where, you know, we're just like uplifting these terrible things. So does that make us like we're laughing at people who died because they didn't listen? I don't know.
We're not laughing at the fact that they died. Maybe I'll speak for myself. I think it's more laughing at just the like sheer ignorance of, you know, to tie it into that movie on Netflix, Don't Look Up. It's like, look, like there's a meteor coming. Like, we all can see it with our eyes. Right. Like, what are you missing? Like, are you just trying to own the libs? Like, what's going on here? Like, that's what we're laughing at, is just like them looking at a blue piece of paper and saying like, no man, that's red. That's red.
Yeah, but I was really interested in him talking about being trapped in an algorithm. You know, like we are all kind of trapped in these algorithms, and he is kind of trying to put sympathy on the other side. And what you could do is highlight Tucker Carlson and Fox News and all the crazy things that they do, but instead he's like, we're just as guilty, and here's kind of some of the messed up things, like shaming somebody about this horse tranquilizer thing. He's like, yes, it does not help with COVID, but to call it horse tranquilizer is belittling the fact that this is part of medicine and it is safe in some doses for people to take. It just is the wrong information for fighting COVID, but you are belittling them by calling it a horse tranquilizer.
You know, so much work to do. Jeez.
You know what I really liked about him talking about the algorithms is when he kept saying, we know everything everyone's gonna say. And like it obviously there's nuance to that, but like it's kind of true. Like there are definitely conversations that you're gonna have with people, and you know exactly what they're gonna say based on what algorithm they're in. And you can see it on the internet, you can see it in real life. Like it's just, we know at this point what everyone's going to say because we're just all like on this crazy loop.
What, you mean the China virus? That's what they're going to say.
And you just read this line, but to repeat it, we have created a culture where the flow of information is corrupted is a very powerful thought. And then he gets into the Ice Cube bit, which killed me, about Ice Cube. Like this idea that you're just stuck in your algorithm to not trust this current piece of like medical. This one thing, right? So Ice Cube will not get the vaccine, so he won't work on this movie. But like a couple months ago, got a colonoscopy. He's like, you're telling me you won't get this booster shot, but you're letting somebody give you a
for hours.
The irony of that is amazing. And then at the end admits, I have no idea if Ice Cube got a colonoscopy, which
and then he says, but he's over 45, so I hope I'm right.
So it was kind of like a nice PSA as well.
Yeah.
Love that part.
That was one of his better jokes of just like fully being like, I don't know if that's true.
Which I thought landed perfectly.
Yes.
Like the audience seemed to just be like, that was excellent. It was a chef's kiss moment.
Totally. Then he kind of got into like the idea of like unskilled labor, and then he's like, there's no such thing. If you go into a Wendy's and you get your food, everyone on that process was skilled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
Yeah,
so on point.
I was snapping in my living room.
When he's talking about the idea.
Aziz for president?
He lives in London.
Prime Minister?
Oh my God, when he is talking about the 99-cent burger, and he's like, all right, I'll give you 99 cents and you make me a burger. Figure that out. And I'm just like, God damn, that like somebody has to be getting fucked if you're selling burgers for 99 cents.
You guys, I think my first big laugh, well, maybe not the first, but it was so funny when he's like, have you ever been to a Chipotle in like Pennsylvania? It's intense. It's like the Chipotle has COVID. There's someone walking around like, like wheezing everywhere. And then you're like, can I have extra guacamole? And the guy's like, we don't have guacamole. There's a supply chain crisis or something.
Yes, that was very funny.
Which is true. I do think that the world has gotten shittier. Like everything has gotten...
Everything sucks.
Everything sucks, yeah.
Yeah, so I ran a restaurant that is a chain restaurant for 2 years, and we would straight up go to other versions of that chain and just like steal their cooks. Hey, I'll pay you $1 more an hour to come work at ours. And so it was like a trickle down effect where then they'd steal somebody else's, and then everybody was getting fucked. The worst versions of that place sucked because we just like ripped them, you know, like
jeez.
Yeah. So
you had 2 jobs, it sounds like. Running the restaurant and then
coaching.
Recruiting.
Recruiting is the job. Yeah, no, but finding workers is impossible. Like, because it's a shitty gig. There's no other way around it. Like,
right. It's like, why would you do that?
All right.
Yeah.
Also, just gotta throw in, I loved when you dropped Frank Ocean's name for that little bit.
Oh, so this is the next part about it's the willingness to make less money, which was Frank Ocean's advice to him, which is kind of about that whole idea of like all these other all these other celebrities are trying to diversify and do more and more things.
But he just releases music when he wants to.
Well, he's
and killed me though.
Talking about Dre when he's talking about Dr. Dre.
Everyone wants to. No one wants to make the Chronic. Everyone wants to make Beats by Dre headphones.
Fucking brilliant.
So true.
Yeah.
And then he said like Drake, you know, people ask him about his album, and he's like, "What album? Buy my new. Go to the new OVO hospital."
Yeah.
The Kevin Hart bit was so.
Live streaming from a lawnmower?
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, and I gotta say, he said that, okay, he was like, Kevin Hart would never be up here because I'm doing this for free. Okay, you might be here for free, Comedy Cellar isn't paying you, but
he's making a Netflix special.
Okay, but the timeliness of him saying this in December and then releasing this special on like the week before Kanye puts an entire album on a stupid...
No, this has been out.
This has been out? I thought it's been out for like 2 weeks.
No, I think it's been out for 2 weeks, yeah.
Really? I thought it's been out for 2 months. I thought he did a really quick turnaround.
Nevertheless, the idea that Kanye West now, as I am speaking, is trying to push an entire album on a $200 like speaker.
Right.
Yeah, but Kanye is an idiot and insane, and I hope no one buys that.
That is the peak of what we're talking about, though. It's like diversify, like
right, sure.
But then there's problems with Spotify and all that too.
Maybe.
I just say that it was somewhat problematic that he was like, I'm not making money off of this when he's recording a special for Netflix.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't hit as hard.
I don't think he's saying that. Did he say that?
He said, I'm up here for free.
He's not up.
Well, he's not getting paid by the seller, I guess is what
I know, but like
like for the audience, yes, but for us at home, it's like
he's lying.
Aziz Ansari going around to random nightclubs and doing comedy makes him more money.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it should. Yeah. He's good at it. We like to this set.
Does he have merch?
I'm sure he's got
merch.
We'll follow up on that.
I'm sure he's got a mug that says "Treat Yourself."
It was funny too when he's like, I ran into Frank Ocean and was like, how do you do it? And he said, you just have to be comfortable making less money. And then he was like, so I decided to do that. But now Frank Ocean started a jewelry line.
That's what got me.
Yeah,
that line.
That was a good one.
I didn't even know he has a jewelry line.
Okay, the next part that I thought was really great and just like perfect example of him just like having his pulse on like our modern sort of millennial society when he was like, yeah, post-election, I came back 2 years later, same shitty place. I know, Joe Biden, infrastructure, blah, 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 but what happened to all of our energy? And he's like, instead, I just hear people being like, I'm going to go to this limited edition collab pop-up where Travis Scott collabed with an emerging brand pop-up, limited edition sustainable tote bag that turns into an NFT and it's all sustainable.
It rolled off his tongue. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I literally have written down, ask Alexis to read back the plans for the night that end with, and it's all sustainable.
I couldn't even write it all down. I just wrote sustainable collab pop up a bunch. And his delivery was just so
That is how I feel the world is right now.
Yeah.
Like, it is, we like have completely forgotten about all the things we wanted, and now we're just like into shiny things.
Well, he talks a lot about like where's the content later, but this is how he gets there, is talking about like we're only interested in things that are interesting, and that are content and that we can share. It's kind of, on a really core level, it always gives me this weird feeling when you see a video of somebody like doing something nice for a homeless person, because you're only doing it for the content, It puts a weird pit in my stomach. Yes, you did a good thing, but not really. You did it for you,
Right, but I gotta say, the content discussion is very valid and on point, and like everything he's saying is true. Like our society sucks. We're like all addicted to our phones and just swiping and scrolling constantly. But like, this is this isn't necessarily a new thought.
Maybe
this isn't adding anything new to it. It's just nicely said, and we like listening to it. And again, this is a piece of content.
Habitat for Humanity needs a better hashtag, is what you're saying.
Well, they need a crazier spokesperson.
Well, maybe.
But going back to like him saying all of that, limited edition, this little, like that is a new take on the type of people that now exist. Like, it used to be making fun of hipsters. Hipsters have now turned into something else that I don't think they are classified yet. What do we call the new brand of hipster that is just like, I'm at WeWork drinking my new, firm press, blah, blah, blah. But it's like all about like the post and like hipsters were like kind of anti-tech in a way, or at least like, we're going to go back to vinyl. I'm going to have this big beard and, I'm going to wear things that make me look like I'm, from like 1880s, like.
It's a new class of like work from homers who are hipster but like the tech.
Right, yes, tech hipster. What are tech hipster yuppies called?
I don't know.
Maybe that. Maybe that.
Silicon Valley residents, like.
But that's what we're talking about, and that's what we've like a new post-COVID breed that we haven't really like, classified.
Tweet at us if you've got a good.
Yeah, if you got a name. Yeah. We're workshopping the name, so hashtag us.
The hashtaggers.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling them?
Nah.
And we'll know if you don't.
Can we just give it to Gen Z? Can we just be like, that's Gen Z?
That's what they used to do to millennials, and I would hate them, steam me up.
But it's our time.
I think Gen Z
We've got to do it.
They're not Gen Zers though. They're kind of our age.
They're us.
Yeah, they're us.
I don't think so.
First of all, at this very table, raise your hand if you work in a tech startup. Raise your hand if you've worked at WeWork.
Fine, I worked at WeWork.
I'm a yuppie.
Yeah, what's that?
Post-COVID yuppie work from home or hipsters.
Like, there's nothing mean. We're not being mean.
Did we all just come to the realization that we are those people?
Yeah.
But bald.
We have more plants than people in this room right now.
Yeah. Whoa.
We are those people.
But we have less dogs than we have people, and that's
not
something.
lying.
Yeah,
That's
but
sad.
I like this bit a lot. I think he goes all the way from talking about, our need for, we only care about things related to content, all the way to we could fix things, and you know how I know? Because we shut down the world for a year. And he starts getting into that, and it really, like, the idea that we paid people to stay at home for a year, when for the entire existence of humanity, people have been homeless. It's just like, okay, we have the resources, but it's hard to convince people to use them on
each other.
And that we can get into the whole political conversation, but it's just a hard thing to convince people this is where all of these resources should go sometimes.
Well, you can't teach people how to, care about other people. That famous quote that we all hear about in the news. Democrats versus Republicans.
Is that what's happening? Is that what the game was?
Democrats. I mean, like,
okay, it's like you can't teach someone to care about others.
People to stay
and that's the difference between like socially liberal and not.
You can't teach empathy.
But Aaron can. He's a teacher.
What is this whole bit about Timothée Chalamet? I've watched this thing 3 times.
We're skipping over an amazing part that I just have to talk about, which is, he's like, everyone got so riled up about Trump because say what you will about him, dude delivered the content. Like, day one, he just came out like, I hate Mexicans. And then he's like, Kamala Harris. There's more footage of Bigfoot than Kamala Harris. There was that one piece of content we did at Joe, and then she's gone. She disappeared, which is so true. Like, I know that's like a Republican talking point, but like, where is she?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you one thing.
She's working on the border, y'all.
There?
Come on, let her work.
But it's true, right?
She disappeared like the original mom from Fresh Prince.
It's usually like a flip of a coin if what kind of vice president, whether you're like an active or just kind of behind the scenes. But she is so far she can't find a camera anyway. Like, does she not have a social media team?
But so is Joe Biden. They're both.
Right, but like,
Joe Biden comes out maybe once a day, and
once a day is
he's the president.
Literally, haven't heard Kamala Harris' voice in in 2 years.
Still, the only clip going around is the day they won.
Yeah.
We did it, Joe.
We did it.
I follow her on social media platforms, and I have no idea what she's doing.
I think a lot of her social media, it's like picture ops, like you can tell she's like in a good angle with her mask on, and that's why they chose to Instagram that.
So is Aaron's.
Yeah. I did also like
good analysis.
Did a collab pop up with Travis Scott for this emerging brand that's sustainable and
limited
turns into
edition
an NFT tote bag.
Love that. Mm-hmm.
I also liked him bringing up the "Let's Go Brandon" and like, you hate Joe Biden, you don't even see the guy. I agree. I mean, it's not like I love Joe, but I don't even know. Like, someone asked me recently, "What do you think, Joe? How Joe Biden's doing?" I'm like, I just think he's an old man. I honestly have no idea how he's doing. The guy doesn't seem to be doing much. He seems to be just being old.
That's why I expected Kamala to take a bigger role here.
Oh, now we're getting sidetracked. But
do you ever think if somebody just took on the Trump persona, but with the liberal agenda, it would be effective?
Bet though.
If he was just like, he's like, oh, Marco Rubio, like you're such a pussy, like you don't want to give everybody equal pay, like you're such a bitch, Marco Rubio. Like if somebody just really went for that.
Ethan Radnowski, if you're listening, I would think we've got the job for you.
Liberals just need to give everyone nicknames. That was super effective for Trump. So
right.
Anyways,
all right, let's move on.
Yes.
Sorry, fans. I know this isn't
that all the time though.
This is what happens when we're together. So.
All right, then the Timothy Chalamet bit, which was like, But Timothy Chalamet threw a boba tea at an Asian guy in Washington Square Park. And then...
I like how you believed it in your notes first.
I like that he gave...
So that's like the response.
Oh.
I like the full news cycle that
Timothy
he gives.
Chalamet
Yeah, he does give a full news cycle. Yeah.
The full news cycle of...
Right.
Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad. I heard he was slipping. And then another video comes out and it's like full on launch this thing at this guy.
And then it's like, no, that's a deep fake.
That's a deep fake. The full news cycle is so good.
And then he does sum up with like, I don't know, let's keep track of this. Let's keep talking about it every day for 2 weeks, even though it's nothing to do with our lives. That's us, man. You know, like...
Yeah.
Right, and that's probably how he felt when the whole, like, if we're going to call his Me Too experience, whatever, like, that's kind of where I thought maybe he was touching on that. What?
Let the record show there was air quotes.
No, I'm sorry.
Close
That was a legitimate Me Too experience for both of those people.
Yes,
I'm sure he felt like he was being like canceled or in some way like
he was in the news every day for 2 weeks, and then it just
our society is very like mob like.
Yep.
It's just the natural response. I don't know how we change that, but I'm sure that's how he felt. Where he was like, okay, so I had I made a mistake and had this weird exchange with this girl where she felt hurt and like violated, and everyone knows about it, and everyone's shitting on me, calling me like a rapist and talking about it for weeks straight until the next person does it, and like that sucks for him, you know? And I don't know how,
You fight it by getting a flip phone. To me that's what he does, right?
That
Like he's so disconnected. I'm
feel
sure
like
it doesn't bother him at all anymore.
I hear people threatening to get a flip phone all the time, but I haven't seen someone who actually followed through on that.
I think about it, and he brought up the strongest points to not get a flip phone,
agreed.
which is directions.
GPS.
Yes.
To not have a GPS, to
Printing out MapQuest and following
I could
those
never
around.
go back to that.
No,
that's some 09 hipster shit.
Yeah.
Literally, I was thinking though, like, okay, maybe I delete every app except for like phone and GPS.
Yeah, and see.
But yeah,
should
and
we
then
do that?
he's clearly self-employed, where he does not have to have an email or a Slack. Like he's clearly a man that can be just like unattached.
Right, it's hard. It's definitely tough. I was thinking about that, as well. Like a work situation, just like he can't.
Right, and you can't
be that detached.
have a job and then not have TikTok to get through the day.
Oh man, I don't want to think about that.
Well, the amazing full circle that he did there, which I guess it wasn't a full circle because it was just leading into the end here, but he said, I got up today, I came down to the comedy, I was writing some jokes, I came down to the Comedy Cellar, and just like I did 20 years ago, I pulled out my flip phone and like sent this T9 very slow text message.
I forgot it was called T9 too.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, it took me back. But
And
the sounds were very good.
The one button for 3 letters.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to just...
I was fast.
Yeah, his clicking was good.
That's
His clicking was good.
I was quick on those old texting.
Yeah.
I felt good about it. I could do it like not looking, I knew where the buttons were. I think like Matt Damon texted in like a Bourne movie in his pocket. And I was like, I'm gonna get that one day.
That'll be me. That'll be me.
I'm gonna be Jason Bourne of the Fit Fun.
I don't know. So I liked it. I thought it was good. He made it cohesive, like in a nice way.
I was thinking more than I was laughing through this whole thing. Like, but I liked all the
They were good thoughts.
He has these ways of thinking about what's happening in the world that like are humorous. I'm not chuckling, but I'm also like, damn, that's an interesting thought, and I even like I wrote down the whole bit about China and smartphones. Like, I know this conversation, I haven't digested it down to one line, which is like, oh, you're not going to give your China's not going to ask you for your face. They're going to make an app that you give them your face.
I didn't feel that way because literally there was actually an app like 5 years ago. Remember, everybody was taking a picture of themselves and it would show themselves older. And then everyone was like, this is China's doing this for facial recognition.
They now know like all of our mugshots.
That wasn't like that new. I'm just like, I know. No shit.
Yeah, but you still did it.
I know. It's just a
what do I care? I have my face.
Again,
they already have all my shit.
What do I care? They have everything.
I feel that way about all of my, like, what am I putting out there like that I don't want people... I like that my
sometimes
ads...
I get shown things and I'm like, great, I was just saying yesterday I needed that.
That's exactly what I was about to say. They're gonna show you ads. No matter what, you're getting ads. I'd rather it be stuff I might want.
I want ads for tampons. I think that at least that way I can see what's out there.
Right.
You know, I don't want just when I talk about, you know, buying Chips Ahoy... Shows me Chips Ahoy. Yeah, I already know Chips Ahoy. I know I want them.
Chips Ahoy and tampons.
Do you ever just
Wait, why are you so confused?
Do you ever just
I'm saying that I don't get ads for tampons because they know too much about me. They know that I'm not going to probably buy them, but I like the equal opportunity.
Oh,
he wants to know he can get them.
I want them to work for my money. I want them to work
thoroughly with this idea.
I disagree. That's a waste of my time.
I love all the Target. The amount of crap I've bought on Instagram being like, damn, they got me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, and then it shows up
this
in
sweatshirt that I am currently wearing.
Wow,
yeah. I'm gonna refer to my belongings as targeted and not targeted because I have gotten a lot of targeted shit.
Manscaped, I got a
that razor.
Sometimes I
loved it. I got a great dress for a wedding.
Yeah,
sick.
Sometimes I just say things around my phone. Just in case, maybe they'll show me something like
$1 million.
Yeah. I could get a new ladder phone if you targeted it at me.
Hear that?
Are you in the market for a new ladder?
Hey, China.
Hey, China, you hear that?
Alright, guys, I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it back.
Harness us.
So,
wait.
I was kind of thinking, I think the Dave Chappelle point that you made at the beginning, AJ, is spot on because I think basically when Dave Chappelle first came back to Netflix, he was having more conversations that mattered or at least were topical, whereas his last one that got a little buzz and was freaking out about, like, it just didn't really do anything for me. Whereas this one felt like, even though it wasn't just like joke after joke and belly laughs, it was funny enough to where I enjoyed it, right? It was funny, and then topical enough to where like these are things that we as a society need to be aware of, be discussing, be understanding. Like there are reasons why discussions in society matter, and we're not having them. We're not, or at least not trying to figure them out, right? I think we're all at the point where we know we're in our own algorithm, but who is trying to get out of it? Who is giving us a solution to do something about it? Who is telling us like, hey, it's all about the content? Or, he's just having a conversation with us in a way that Dave Chappelle felt like he used to 6-7 years ago, and now he's just kind of gone off the rails, and maybe Aziz can come into his place where it's like, yeah, this is more topical to most people that are still relevant or in the workforce.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just this one excited me because of the like potential of Aziz like in his 60s. You know, where Dave is now, right?
Yeah.
Like but like Aziz is going to have a long time of like, hey, maybe I just do 30 minutes about what's happening now, you know, wherever we're at in the world. I'm like, great, line it up, you know, like.
I think my favorite part of this was him saying, like, everything has gotten shittier since COVID. And I think it's something we've all felt. And there's, like, you see it on Twitter with, like, anxiety and depression and salaries and stuff like that where, like, and then you go into retail stores or you buy things and you're like, why is this made slightly shittier? You know, everything's just kind of slightly shittier. I feel like our movies are slightly shittier.
Yeah.
Like our TV shows have kind of, like even our entertainment's slightly shittier. But it's like, it's because no one's addressing the issues.
Putting me in such a bad mood right now.
You guys, you know what makes me feel better about the world is watching a good old comedy special and chuckling with my friends.
Yeah, I agree.
Could have been better.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, it's me, Tom Italiano, and I'm here to tell you Sargento cheese is very good. Yes, I'm the CEO of Sargento cheese, and I want to let you know that it's the best cheese that you can find in the grocery store. You can't find a better cheese than a Sargento. It's definitely cheese, so come on and down to your Kroger, Publix, La La Lula, and buy the cheese. This paid sponsorship was brought to you by Sargento. It's definitely cheese.
Next week on If You Have to Explain the Joke, we're going to be doing Anthony Jeselnik's 2015 Netflix special called Thoughts and Prayers. Watch it, follow along, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and tell your friends.